and welcome back to the House of Langford channel. It is now January, so happy new year to everybody. It's time to show you what I've been doing over December. Now it's going to be a little bit different because a lot of the things that I made have actually been gifted, so I haven't got them to show you, but that means you get to see lots and lots of pictures of what I've been getting up to. So it may be a little bit long, so grab yourself a cup of tea. I've just heard the kettle boil for me, so I'm going to go grab myself a cup of tea and we'll get right on to it. And the first thing that I am going to show you is the 1st of December. So I hold a stall at the annual Billericay Christmas Market, and they close the high street once a year, and they have lots of stall holders, lots of charity stores, and Santa even pays us a visit as well. So I'm going to pop up a little video of the live that I did in the morning when they finally opened up the parade, and there's some pictures to show you what our stall looks like as well. And it thoroughly got us in the festive spirit to kick off our December. So here you go.
Hey, welcome to Billericay today for Billericay Christmas Market. Folks, it's organised by the Rotary Club of Billericay Mayflower, and we hope you have a wonderful day here in Billericay. Join in the fun and festivities, and don't forget to visit Father Christmas in his grotto. We can all go and see Father Christmas. He won't let me sit on his lap though. Come on, grinding voice.
There's a minion.
There was one in Leicester Square last week.
So we are live at Billericay Christmas Market. Mum, say hi. And we are just waiting for the parade to follow through. They've all stopped for a little while, so I'm just going to switch you back round. There we go. Here comes Santa.
Oh, look at the lovely jewellery I want.
Hogwarts Express. How is that possible? Oh no, he's dropped the Skittles, look. And that is the end of the parade, so now it's time to get on with shopping and enjoying the festivities. I am here with Mum. It is very cold. We've got numb fingers, but we're all set up and ready to go. So come and find us. We are outside Barclays. We've got a slightly different pitch this year. We are next to the Punch and Judy though, so it's going to get a bit noisy. But yeah, come down and say hi. We'll see you soon. Bye. So I hope you enjoyed that, and as you can see, my mum comes with me to the Billericay Market every year. It's great that I have somebody else to help me out because it means that I can go for a loo break and so can she. And we're not standing in the cold all day on our own, and we've got someone to talk to. Mum also brings quite a selection of snacks and some hot tea, although her thermo flask wasn't working this year, so it went cold pretty quickly. But yeah, it's always nice having my mum around because she helps me out loads, so thanks Mum. Next up, I taught a class at, so I'm going to shift over this way so I can show you some pictures. I taught a class at Beautiful Things in Brentwood, and we made holly berries out of seed beads and wire. So it's a French beading technique, and we had quite some speedy beaders with us, so everyone made sure, I made sure that everybody made 2 holly berries out of beads and wire. And here's some pictures. Okay, so I've now got my cup of tea. I've got a panda mug this time. Do love my pandas. I'm not a huge tea drinker, but I'll drink general breakfast tea or everyday tea. It's a biggies. Had my son go and get them yesterday. So yeah, I taught the beaded hollyberry class and then sent the one that I made off in an exchange gift, so a swap, and I added in there a Christmas pudding pom-pom, which is it's a free tutorial I believe from Claire at Beautiful Things. It's super easy to do. You just need a pom-pom maker and some yarn basically, and it came out really well. The other thing I made was a felt robin. And this was me prepping for a session that I taught at ACL, and I'll get onto that in a little bit more in a little while. Yeah, and they come out really, really nice. After that, I went to my friend's house. I've been teaching how to sew, that's Cara. We had a sewing afternoon. We were supposed to go to the Christmas market in the afternoon as well, but didn't quite make it. We ended up having our sewing afternoon turn into a sewing evening, and it was 2 days before my birthday, so I was surprised with this.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maddie. Happy birthday to you. Wish, wish, wish. Yeah.
Okay, so the birthday cake was rather delicious, but we did actually do some sewing. So Cara made a big fabric box for a relative for Christmas, and she also made a reading cushion. I also helped Emma make a blanket, which was nice and fluffy and soft on the back as well. It had like can't really remember what the fabric was, but it was like a minky fabric, so it was nice and soft and fluffy on the back, and that looked really, really cute. But not to be outdone, I did actually make a reading cushion of my own, and this one was for my nan for Christmas, and she was gifted it on Christmas Day. And I actually sewed 2 narrow pockets down one side, so she can put knitting needles in there, and then her pattern in the main pocket if that's what she wants to use it for. And that went down really well. Next, I then, because it was Christmas, it was our last session before Christmas at ACL, because I do 10-week blocks, so this was week 10, and I decided we were going to make Christmas decorations because almost everybody had finished their dresses they'd been working on for the last 6 or so weeks, And it was just nice to unwind with some Christmas tunes and just make some decorations. So I brought in a massive table full of felt and random bits of shiny fabrics. There was ribbons, there was bric-a-brac, there was beads, all different things, even hand threads as well, so embroidery threads, so you can hand sew things. And everybody made a different decoration, and it was really nice to see all of the different ways that the elements could be used. And I made two, which are actually here. I made two. So here's one, little bauble, and I'll just use zigzag stitching lines to attach all the little bits. And then the other one is up here. So there's a little Christmas tree with some bric-a-brac, or ric-rac, I can't ever remember what it's actually called. I've just used the star motif on my sewing machine to fill in the gaps, and that one's double-sided. And this one, to make it not so plain on the back, I've just added like a snowflake on the back, or like a star, just using the zigzag stitch. So everybody made a different decoration, and you can really see the different styles as well for people, using their colours choices and what they actually chose to stitch down on top as well. Yeah, proud teacher for that one. Everybody made a Christmas decoration, as well as finishing off other projects that they might have needed to do, and it was just a really fun evening as well. People brought in food. We had chocolate, we had I think there was some sausage rolls. It was just nice to end that course on a high, and everyone got on so well, which is great. Next up, the weekend after, so I held a little birthday party. I went to the craft shed in Basildon, and we did some pottery painting. So this is basically what we got up to. Everybody had a different pottery piece to paint, and they chose that before we went upstairs. We had an afternoon tea, so we had chocolate cakes, we had other different types of cakes, sandwiches, there was some biscuits, tea, there was coffee as well, and we had things like hot chocolate. It was just a really, really nice afternoon to spend with family and a couple of friends, and everybody really enjoyed themselves as well, which was great. Even my son made something, and I had to drag him out of the house, but I didn't care, he was coming. So yeah, he actually made a little foxy as well. So I'm going to pop up some pictures of everybody's makes before they were fired and glazed, and then I'll show you the pictures of when they all came out of the kiln afterwards, and they were all dished out to everybody. The only one missing, I think, is mine, because it's here. Little penguin, and he's got a little light, so he lights up. You can see through all the holes, and there's a little tea light holder, but everybody had something different. There was a couple of tea light holders, there was a cookie jar, and 2 money boxes, I think, as well. So yeah, it was nice to see everybody's different tastes as well, and what colours they used. So it was a nice afternoon. In one. Okay, so next up, I think it was the week after, or a little bit after that, my husband had an exhibition in Shepherd's Market in London, which meant I got to go on train for a trip to London, and I took my crochet with me. So here's some pictures of my journey up there and his actual work, and then there's some more pictures as well of the different work that was on show. So it's a print exhibition. I think everybody had done a different type of print. Some people had printed and then painted over the top. Other pieces were just painted. There was a sculpture, nice like head sculpture, and there's some pictures that came from that as well. But yeah, the work on show was really lovely, and I did actually buy a print as well from Liz Whiteman Smith for my husband. It's one of the iguanas on the gold circles, and he loved that as well. So that was his birthday / Christmas present, because his birthday is Christmas Day. Which is always a little bit tricky for us, but we do our best, I guess. I forgot to get him cake this year though. I owe him cake if I don't eat it first days. That left us with only a few days until Christmas, and I was furiously sewing. And I was actually sewing gifts for my friends. So I made 2 sewing machine mats, which are a paid course from Beautiful Things from Claire, which is part of her Beautiful Things Sewing Club. I think it's a bronze entry level. It's a nice project if you're just getting into things like quilting, sewing loads of straight lines. They're all straight lines, so you can't really go wrong. But it sits underneath the sewing machine when you're using it, and it stops the vibrations from the table from affecting your sewing, and I really need one myself, so I'm gonna have to make another one for me, because the table that I use is like a camping table, which is also the ones I use for my shows, for the stalls that I hold, and it vibrates so much with the sewing machine on top. Yeah, so I made 2 sewing machine mats, but I also made a little twist to it. I can't really do anything these days without adding a little bit of me to them, so I like to do my binding differently. I stitch it to the back and then put it over to the front, so I can get a nice decorative line on the front, rather than trying to hide my stitches or worry that it's going to show on the front. I make it deliberate, so I changed that, and then I made it a bit longer and added some ribbon so it can actually sit on top of the sewing machine as a cover, not just a mat, so it's a multi-purpose. And then I added extra pockets, so rather than doing 2 rows of stitching to make 3 pockets, I did 3 rows of stitching to make 4 pockets. So those are my little tweaks. But I also made some scissor keeper holders to go with them, so they all match, and then I just had to find the poppers to put on them so that they actually all stay together. Then it was Christmas Day. We celebrated our first Christmas as a married couple, and in my secret Santa swap at work I got a little mini Christmas tree, so I had to put our decoration on there, and I could try and keep the Christmas tree alive now, which is fun because I can't keep anything alive. We celebrated Christmas with my family and my nans, and he then dragged me out at like 8 o'clock at night in freezing cold so we can go and do some photography and some filming for his doctorate. Now, I'm not allowed to show you any of it, but this is me wrapped up because it's freezing cold out. And the only reason I had my glasses on was to stop the wind from getting in my eyes and so I could use my phone properly. There's one thing I've forgotten to show you, which is now sitting on my lap, and that is that I finished my second retreat bag, which is an Emmeline Bags pattern, which is free. You just have to buy the hardware, so you need a continuous zip or a long, very long zip that you can cut down to size, and then you need the rods to keep it open. And it's already got a project in now. It's got my my Boxing Day cast on or hook on. So it's got the same rose gold zip down the centre as the bumblebee one that I did. This fabric is from Let's Sew It. That's Lorna at Let's Sew It. And again, I've quilted the outside. I'm not sure you can pick that up. Quilted the outside in white cotton. And rather than team it with the blue again, that the other fabrics that Lorna sent me, I've teamed it with a pink. It's like a baby pink fabric to pick up the flowers on the outside, because some of them are pink. And then it's got my big giant ball of yarn, which was my advent calendar this year from All the Ends Wool, which I've started working up into a granny shawl. So that's growing really nicely. I think I'm already four mini skeins in. yeah, so it stays open when you're working with it for the metal rods on the sides, and then you can just zip it up, take it away with you when you need to be on the move. So that is my new cast on, my last hook on for the end of 2019. We spent the rest of our festive period watching TV, watching films, drinking tea, drinking cider, and I spent a lot of it on the sofa crocheting. But I'm still not sure what day of the week it is. Today is Wednesday though, and I go back to work on Monday, which means I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. 4 days left to do whatever I want before all hell breaks loose and I go back to work. And our routine goes back to normal because my son's back to school as well. Yeah, nice early starts again from Monday. So I started 2 new crochet projects over December, but they're not finished, so I'm not showing you those. They'll be in my Whip Wednesday, because I've only done 1, I think. So I feel like I need to do more Whip Wednesdays. And yeah, what else have I got here? It has been a busy month. I think that goes for everybody though. December is always busy, especially if you're fighting the shops to get gifts and presents and stuff too. So all that's left for me to say is that I look forward to seeing you in 2020 for more videos like this. They're very long and you need a cup of tea to sustain you through. Remember, we do still have that giveaway running as well. So once we hit 100 subscribers, or rather I hit 100 subscribers, it is just me, with the exception of my mum who helps me on my stall. Yeah, 100 subscribers and there will be a colouring in cushion sent to one of my subscribers. Yeah, I hope you are enjoying these videos and I look forward to doing many more for 2020. Yeah, keep sharing, keep liking. Any comments, pop them in the comments in the section below, and any links that I've mentioned, so for example Claire at Beautiful Things in her sewing club, or the pom pom tutorial, or the scissor keeper tutorial, because that's a freebie one as well, then I'll pop them down in the description for you too. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you all again soon for January.